Our marine wildlife is hugely important. It's unseen, out of sight, out of mind, and that means that we haven't treated it well. Our seas are in a dreadful state. The North Sea was once one of the most productive seas on the planet, home to blue whales, dolphins, massive numbers of porpoises. Most of that's gone now. We've overfished it, overpolluted it, overused it in many ways. And the government passed in 2009 the Marine Act for the very first time, giving us an opportunity to put together a network of kind of nature reserves at sea, which we call marine protected areas. The issue is that we have to have enough of them, and the sorts of activities that you do in them need to be licensed properly, and that Marine Act gives you that opportunity to do that. But if you don't have enough, it simply will not work. The government put together a project, the Net Gain project in the North Sea, to get all the users of the sea, the fishermen, the oil and gas industry, the renewables industry and so on, and the conservationists like us, together to look at where these marine protected areas should be. So a consensus was developed, and around the English coast 127 marine protected areas have been identified. We're not sure that that's quite enough, but it's certainly a very good start. But it looks like our government is only going to recommend a few of those sites, maybe 30 or 40 of those sites, rather than the full 127. That's simply not good enough. All the science says that that will not work. The government must do better.
Here in Yorkshire we've got over 45 miles of coastline, and off that coastline a whole range of variety of habitats and species that benefit from the food and shelter that's provided by that. From in the north we've got areas of rocky reef. Moving further down south towards areas like the Humber Estuary, which are really important for wading birds and a whole host of other marine wildlife. The big area that's covered from the Yorkshire coast obviously makes us a really important partner in the designation process of marine conservation zones.
Out of 8 recommendations, we actually have a whole range of species and habitats that we're aiming to protect. So in the north we have 2 really important coastal sites. Very rich intertidal animals alongside areas where fish can spawn, but also a good place for roosting birds. A site in Filey actually holds 50% of the wintering purple sandpipers in England. Further to the south we have the Holderness coast, and we've actually recommended 2 sites from there, an inshore and an offshore site, and both have sand, gravel, things like that. But what this does is actually allows a special worm called the Ross worm to create living reefs, a really important habitat and one that we really want to protect.